Welcome to Lauren the Insider. Today I'm discussing why women, mothers, children, grandmas are under attack by a corrupt council and why this could be the blueprint for some people to take over all of the councils in the country. Now, quick disclaimer, nothing is meant to incite hate. It's not, so I don't really know what else to say. Moving on. So, this is a really important video, and what I have uncovered is going to shock you. Pink ladies, they are not going to shock you because these women are you, they are me, they are my grandma, they are my mum, and they are ladies that are a movement of women concerned about how illegal immigration is impacting the safety of women and girls. Nothing wrong with that. However, I was on my ex account scrolling through, and then I saw that Tommy had put a tweet out. Why we still call them tweets, even though it's X, they'll forever be known as tweets. And Tommy has said, Tower Hamlets will table a motion this coming Wednesday, 8th of October, to have the Pink Ladies and Raise the Colours Patriots designated as far right extremists. And I saw that and I was shocked. I had to read it several times. And then I went on my ex account to check other accounts to see if this was true. And it was true. Here's a list of the names and faces of Tower Hamlets Council for some perspective. So I looked. I thought, okay. So the mayor is Lufterahmen. And I thought, who are you, Lufterahmen? And I did some research, okay, because I didn't know a lot about Tower Hamlets. I had previously been to Tower Hamlets once when I was a celebrity publicist and I was covering something for the Prince's Trust, and I did not feel safe. That's all I know of it. Hadn't been in years. So went down the rabbit hole, and I have some information for you. Tower Hamlets. The Muslim population of Tower Hamlets was 39.9% according to the 2021 census, making it the largest Muslim population in England and Wales as a proportion of residents. This high percentage is largely due to the borough having the largest Bangladeshi population in England and Wales. Okay, there's not very many Jewish people in the community, and I hope that Lufterahmen is looking after the Jewish population, because when I Googled Aspire, the council or the party that he runs, it makes no bones about the fact that it is very much by Muslim people for Muslim people. So my research then shows me that approximately 40% of Tower Hamlets' population is Muslim. To put this in national context, this makes Tower Hamlets the local authority with the highest percentage of Muslim residents in England and Wales. The main religion groups in Tower Hamlets are Muslim, 39.9%, no religion, 26.6%, and Christian at 22.3%. Now, there's a Sharia council based in Leighton, East London, that serves the people of Tower Hamlets, and there's no less than 50 mosques in Tower Hamlets. So when I was doing my research, I was thinking, how could anyone possibly be offended by the Pink Ladies? I've never met someone where they haven't brought a smile to their face. They are exercising their democratic right to peacefully protest, rather. And they are women, much like probably a lot of you watching. And if you're watching from outside of the UK and in the Commonwealth or any of the other countries, please, please share what I am saying in this video far and wide, because what is going on in this country is shocking. So let's go back to Lufterahmen, okay? The man that is the head of this Aspire Council that is tabling a motion with the council to have people like you and me banded as right-wing extremists. So I was on X, and Kaz MC had put Rahman was kicked out of office in 2015 after a specialist court concluded that he was guilty of vote rigging, buying votes, and religious intimidation. But the police and Crown Prosecution Service, brackets, you know, the one that Keir Starmer always tells us he worked for, close brackets, decided, let's go back. But the police and the Crown Prosecution Service decided there was insufficient evidence to launch a criminal prosecution. May I suggest, CPS, that you probably should have spent more time finding evidence, because from my research, I've found loads. More time doing that and less time arresting good patriots who are trying to keep their children safe. Because when it comes to unvetted migrants, I'm a mother of two, and the most important job I have on this earth is to keep my children safe. That is non negotiable. How is flying a flag and peacefully protesting far right extremism? It is not. And this is the insanity of what we're facing. And you can't say this for being racist. You can't say that. It isn't racist to fly your country's flag and object to unvetted migrants who are coming from countries that we are seeing more and more evidently are not compatible with our morals and our values and our Christian foundations. That is not hate speech. That is just a sensible comment I have come to the conclusion of, having spent my life up to 18 in education. So I saw the tweet from Kaz, and then this came up. Okay. And this is previously a campaign that Tower Hamlets Council under Lufter Rahman had put out. They later retracted it. I don't know why. And it says it's World Breastfeeding Week and we are raising awareness of amazing local services. Whether you're a breastfeeding, formula feeding, or doing a bit of both, the baby feeding and wellbeing service can support you to feel confident feeding your baby. Um, that looks to me like it's going to alienate a lot of people, because not everyone in Tower Hamlets wears a face mask. So we know the Bangladeshi community is very big in Tower Hamlets, okay? So I thought, I don't know much about Bangladesh and I want to know more. And you know, I always base what I do in facts. There's no conspiracy, there is no tweaking things to fit my agenda. I am taking readily available information, aggregating it for you, the good patriots. So, before I get into the next bit, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. I do really appreciate it. And just a quick, massive thank you for the support to help my channel grow and thrive. I am so grateful. My channel is nothing without your support, and I do not take it for granted. I absolutely love putting these videos together for you all. So, back to the story. So, went down the rabbit hole of Bangladesh. Now, I have really big concerns because the legal age of consent in Bangladesh is 14 for boys and for girls. That is not compatible with our country, our legal age of consent. So, if there is, as we know, such a large Bangladeshi community in Tower Hamlets, is there safeguarding for children of 14 and 15, 14 upwards until our legal age of consent? Because this seems to be, I couldn't find much online about it. Okay. So, a bit more about the gender roles and equality in Bangladesh. Patriarchal norms. Traditional social and cultural norms in Bangladesh have historically confined women to the domestic sphere under the protection of male family members. Right? It is 2025. Of course, each different society and culture is different, but this is in London. So I just want to make sure people are integrating, because otherwise, as Sadiq Khan always tells us, diversity is our strength. Not if we're not all working together, is it? So, this practice contradicts the Western value of equal opportunities for women in all areas of public life, including employment and decision making. So, what's actually interesting is then this came up in my research. Women shut down at meetings and friends given jobs. Tower Hamlets Council's toxic culture laid bare. This is only a piece from last year. People who worked at the council under Mayor Lufterarmen's last tenure, which ended with him being removed from office for corrupt and illegal practices, have reportedly returned to similar roles. Now, this doesn't seem to me like the kind of council we want in London. Corrupt, people feeling threatened, religious intimidation. This has come up in my research. So let's go back to what else I found. Gender inequality in Bangladesh, and I understand that we are in London, but with such a Bangladeshi community, it only seems right that I do the research and give you a broad view of Bangladesh because I myself haven't been, I'm not an expert on it. So I am taking publicly available information from Wikipedia and Google. Gender equality in Bangladesh is evident in the fact that women have historically had limited influence in family and community decision making, restricting their autonomy and empowerment. That's not good. This is not compatible with Western expectations of individual self determination. Violence against women. A significant portion of Bangladeshi women face intimate partner violence, including physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Cultural attitudes that tolerate or downplay domestic violence, often viewing it as a private family matter, stand in stark contrast to Western societies where domestic violence is regarded as a severe crime. So there's also a Sharia court, which obviously is more of a cultural practice, we're told. But there is a Sharia court in Leighton, which oversees the residents that want to use it of Tower Hamlets. So then I continued my research. And look, I could spend my video telling you all of the corruption about Lufthansa. There's lots. And I will read you an article shortly about that. But I just wanted to show you something that I also found. Serious Violence and Exploitation Strategy by Tower Hamlets Council, August 2024. So, what have we achieved? This is a breakdown, okay, of the sexual offences, domestic violence. I want to make something very clear, okay? And I'm sure I'm not the only one. You're not going to criminalize the pink ladies and raise the colours for being right wing terrorists, okay, when you, as a council, are making light and making fun of sexual assault and domestic violence, okay? And Lufthansa. Take this from me as a woman who grew up at a point in my childhood in a house with domestic violence, that when I hear a door slam, it still sends chills down my spine. So I do not take kindly, Lufter, to you using what looks like a Keith Haring cartoon to depict a man putting his hand up a woman's dress and two caricatures hitting each other. Not on my watch, you don't, pal. And so if you want to hide behind the veil of we're scared, the pink ladies in their pink jumpers singing songs, that are played on heart radio are right-wing extremists. Well, you, my friend, you're coming under the scrutiny of me and my following. And we're going to see what we find offensive about you. And this is not hate speech. This is using my brain, because I find that deeply offensive. So, child marriage, back to Bangladesh. Bangladesh has one of the highest rates of child marriage in the world. A shocking 51% of girls are married before the age of 18. In recent years, Bangladesh has also been among the few countries to legally lower the age of marriage under certain circumstances. Well, I just want to say, Jess Phillips, I hope that you are putting in a lot of time to look after the children within the Bangladeshi community in Tower Hamlets, because every child's innocence and every child's childhood matters. And so we know that there is a large Bangladeshi population in Tower Hamlets. It is not racist to say that. You cannot gaslight me into, thinking I'm saying something wrong for that. And I would also pose the question, because Tower Hamlets did come up in the J report, why are the grooming gangs not being investigated in Tower Hamlets and the rest of London? This is very concerning. So, there's an article I want to read for you all, okay? And it's taken from The Critic, and it's from February. And it says, "The political Islam is already in Britain. The borough of Tower Hamlets is under the full political control of an exclusively Bangladeshi Islamic male only political party called Aspire. Replacing London as the party in power in 2022, Aspire shocked the political establishment by winning the local elections with no mainstream support." Obviously, it's worth noting here again, what we could do just for context is, let's pull up Kaz's tweet. Rahman was kicked out of office in 2015 after a specialist court concluded that he was guilty of vote rigging, buying votes, and religious intimidation. But the police and Crown Prosecution Service decided there was insufficient evidence to launch a criminal prosecution. Try harder, CPS, I would say. Back to the article. The case of the Aspire Party, which only operates in Tower Hamlets, has become increasingly common in multicultural Britain under the increasing influence of Islam. So, this is what I want to say. If what's happening in Tower Hamlets with Aspire Council is we are having the law weaponized against us as mothers, as grandmothers, as children, that we are far right wing. Who deemed our flag offensive? Who has said this is right wing? It's not me. It's not you. It is subjective, and it is being used by people to weaponize these terms to get us cuffed and silenced. This is exactly what the online safety bill did. And so I'm not having it. And that's why I want you to share this video, because the mainstream media have not aggregated this information about Lufteramen, and they haven't connected the dots because they're probably all worried they'd alienate a Muslim voter base or they would offend people. This is factual. It is not offensive to be asking these questions. When you see that he has run a corrupt council and been kicked out of office, then he changes the name and gets back in. He's using religious intimidation. And then you see how big the Bangladeshi population is in Tower Hamlets. And you then look into, well, what are the cultural practices in Bangladesh? It isn't racist to say this information, and I won't be told it is. And I'm not having being a critical thinker weaponized against me because we are brought up to be told to think. And now I'm an adult, a consenting adult paying tax. I'm not allowed to do that. I don't think so. So, back to the article. More incriminating is the 2015 court judgment, which found Rahman guilty of electoral fraud and undue spiritual influence in the 2014 local elections. No fewer than 101 imams and Muslim leaders signed a letter to make Rahman victorious before the election, resulting in the first charge of undue spiritual influence since the 19th century. Explaining the judgment, the judge said Rahman's career had relied on silencing his critics by accusations of racism and Islamophobia. And if he had not enlisted the help of the Muslim clergy to put unlawful pressure on Muslim voters, the results would have been very different. We cannot live in Western society whereby when someone says the word Islamophobic or racist, people go, I'm too scared to say anything. I didn't say that. What I am saying is not Islamophobic. And I am not going to have my brain then be weaponized, tied up in little nasty, sinister legislation and gagged. That's not happening. So, what I want you to do, everyone, I want you to support the pink ladies, okay? Support Raise the Colours. These are us. We need to stand together because we are being told there's hate and division. Well, let me tell you, as a white Christian mother, I feel that there's a lot of racism towards white women. That does not make me a white supremacist. It makes me someone that can look at the data and look at the facts of what's going on in this exact situation. And I'm using that as an example and amplifying that to you because the mainstream media won't. So thank you for watching this video. And just to uh, well, I don't even know what the word is at this point, but what I want to, reissue is that this is not hate speech. Okay. This is not, I am not a radical person on the corner that is shouting hate. I'm a mother of two that is a Christian that is very worried about what is going on to other mothers and grandmas that want to peacefully protest. And I am deeply concerned that there are children that are being failed in Tower Hamlets who may be living in a culture whereby I know, because I've found that information, the legal age of consent is 14. So if if you, like me, also care about children's welfare, then please share this video. And a message to Jess Phillips: start doing your job, Jess. Yeah.